going down.
Yeah, I'll dance for you anytime.
Okay.
Steve, you probably sent it to me.
That's right.
You want to say it?
Oh, here. You go ahead, Alan.
Motion to come out of the executive session for personnel.
I'll make a second. All in favor? All opposed?
We're out of executive session.
Mayor, can you give a quick roll call for elected officials present?
Lauren O'Leary, present. Dr. Sterling?
Dr. Sterling, present.
Mr. Carswell?
Tracy Carswell, present.
Mr. Lawson?
James Lawson present.
Mr. Mims?
Scott Mims present.
Mr. Ledbetter?
Mr. Ledbetter's present.
Thank you.
Okay, so, this morning, I just kinda got a rundown on a few topics. I just want, just light discussion of, where we are, kinda get me caught up to y'all's, opinions on these things, but I'm gonna throw out a few ideas right here. Cause some of this we've been talking about for, going on a year. But I'm gonna bring you up to date on a few things. Oh, I think that's gotta stay up, no?
Yeah, I think
Does
that.
it? Is it on the one? My apologies.
Do it.
Is it automatically?
I know, I hate it too because of the noise.
Yeah, I was getting some background in here.
Yeah. I'm gonna start, I'm gonna update you on the, new city hall complex, Town Green. I met with the contractor, y'all obviously approved the contract, signed that off with him. They have ordered the building, it's been ordered, you know, everything's kinda backed up. They're ordering the pipe for, we will start, of course, with the grading, but they're gonna do all that underground water detention. And Stevie, it's gonna be a nightmare for y'all,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a mess, cause they're gonna, that whole parking area that's right there in front of your house, they're gonna dig all of that up, and there's gonna be, I don't know, 100 feet or better, a 3-foot pipe buried in the ground right there. And, but they'll do it, they're gonna put in a grease trap, it'll look like, kinda like a safety tank out there, it'll be hooked to all the units. But all that prep work is gonna come first, and, you know, they'll probably even have to close the road down, at least one side of it for a little while.
When does that start?
He said we've ordered the pipe, and, hopefully one day soon we'll see pipe laying out there in your front yard. I wouldn't doubt construction would start by mid-June. It may be before that. I mean, that's prime time really, you know, for them to get, it's dry, you know, it's hot and dry. And, they can get graded, get that pipe in the ground, and get the slab poured. And once the slab is poured, the building itself will go really fast. I mean, if y'all saw that building that they put up down there at the, plant, have y'all been down and seen that? I think it took them 2 days.
Yeah.
This is a lot more complicated, but still, it's just a puzzle that they're putting together, and the prep work is the extended time on it. But from my discussions with them, I said, well, we're gonna be moving in there by Labor Day. And they're like, oh, I don't know. And they're talking about the schedule of the steel and this and that, and I thought, well, Halloween? And they're like, yeah, I think Halloween for sure. So I'm guessing by Thanksgiving, you know, we'll be moving into that, for sure. And I guess, you know, still the supply chain has gotta come through, but there's nothing really crazy there that we've gotta get that should be too difficult, you know, for contractors to get. I have gone through the plans. One thing that was on the front, and I did wanna ask y'all about it, we've got all brick fronts.
Right.
And we probably would change the bricks, you know, cause we wanted to make 3 individual looking units there. What would y'all think about putting, I like this idea, and I may have done it down the street, rock up to the bottom of the windows. You know, just like a fake stack stone. It kind of breaks that brick up. Or we do, you know, we do the 3 different colors of bricks. We can change, we can make them offset around the borders to kind of identify the 3 units. But when we were sitting there looking at the plans, I thought, you know, a little bit of rock right here to look at.
Is that the design that BMK done for us? The facade on the front?
Yes, I think it was. Of course, they've just taken that same image and redone it. I mean,
Redone, okay.
I should have brought the plans with me, but
I can pull them up on my
yeah,
computer.
I don't think it's that big of a, we'll have to decide that right now. Because brick, rock, it's all gonna cost about the same at the end of the day. I don't think it'd be any kind of major change in cost there. But I'm happy with this contractor. I mean, you know, he was a really close second when we were interviewing him before. We just, you know, thought that B&K would have got this, we thought we'd be done with it by now. And they just drug their feet something terrible. And we were hoping to start construction before Fall Festival last year, and heck, he still hadn't even got us a price.
Yeah.
And,
So when are we looking to finish now? Be completed, when's the job? Be completed?
I really think we'll be completed and moved into it by Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I mean, without any major hiccup. There's been a lot of hiccups. I said that same thing, what, a year and a half ago, didn't I?
And we have people constantly that wants to rent out this, our old city
Yeah.
hall, since they knew we were building a new one.
And even last fall, there were many people who were talking about the restaurant side of the new building. I mean, they won't be, we want first dibs on it.
Shannon, on the inside, is that gonna be divided off into 3
It will be. There'll be like a firewall between each unit.
to start off with? Or
Well,
would it?
yes, I mean, of course, you know, the city hall part will be on the left side.
Right.
If you're facing it from town square. City hall will be on the left side, there'll be a wall, and it's 25, 30 feet wide, all about the same width. There's differences, but that's not a big difference. Then the middle room is a big open room similar to this. Kind of got a storage room and maybe like a little warming kitchen in the back of it. 2 bathrooms at the front. When you walk in there, you have a bathroom on each side, front door's behind you. You knock another little door, then it walks into a big open room like this. And we'll use it, but you can, I mean, it's a big enough room that, you know, people can lease it like they do the depot. Birthday parties, HOA meetings.
Whatever, yeah.
It'll see,
175.
yeah, I was gonna say it was at least 150 chairs or so planned for it.
Pretty good.
And we'll have audio visual stuff, you know, if people need the projector screens that drop from the ceiling and.
Right.
How many will fit in the depot? How many people will fit in the depot?
75, probably.
Oh wow, so that'll be big. Be about twice the size?
Yeah, the room is, the usable room was 66 feet between the walls, I think. I think it was 66 feet between the walls, and the middle room, I believe, is 30 feet wide. That's 1,800 square feet. Well, this would be, I can count the tiles, but this is probably 50 by 30. So it'd be bigger than this room.
Okay.
So it'd be a nice room.
Nice.
And it'd be more to use, and it'll be a steady stream, it'll be a steady stream of people renting anything, just like the depot. Any questions about that?
So they'll still have the sidewalk between that and what I call little hooties?
Yes.
To go back up to the backstage, right?
Yeah, now they're gonna probably have to bust up that sidewalk, you know, if you look at that, the, power
Yeah.
and, maybe even the water comes in right there, and all that's going to be relocated. And there's one power pole on the back center of that property that feeds Little Hootie's, the coffee shop, feeds the church, feeds Adam's house, I think feeds your mama's house, and it may even come all the way up, I mean, it's like a spider coming off this pole.
Yeah, just cut that off.
And it's a disaster. And,
I'll do it for a second.
well, this has been a hiccup to it, because George Power, if you go out there and look at it, you see why, because it's, but it's going to be moved, because we need that parking spot, it's gonna have to be moved. So it's the relocation of all this stuff, and we're gonna need to move that power pole, probably over there behind the old church. behind, what's it called now?
Further up the
Southern
hill,
Market?
yeah.
But his house is the big hiccup here of getting power back to his house.
Our
And-
house?
Yes, absolutely. Y'all's house.
Yes.
And, they've got an enormous tree in the front yard that's in the way. But I think, somebody told me that tree was dead.
It is, dude.
It's dead. So if Georgia Power, if that's the way they decide to do, we probably gonna have to take that tree down. It's in their yard. It just depends really on what Georgia Power and the electrician decide to do. They may decide to do underground to all of them. I mean, I don't know. That's just up to all the electrical engineers on it, but sometime you're there, just look at that power pole at the back end of Town Green and look up at it and look at all the wires that come off of it. It's, and it's dead center in the way of everything. Yeah. All right. Anything else on that? All right, let's talk for a few minutes about the Mulberry House over there on our 7 acres that we bought. So I walked through and looked at that again this week. Scott, have you had a chance to see that house?
I have,
Okay.
I walked through it.
I think most have, except Dr. Sterling has not.
Okay.
Where is it located?
It's on Mulberry Street.
Mulberry Street.
You know, that's a short, dead-end street.
That'd make it really cool, like antebellum, if you've been to antebellum over in,
It's exactly what I say. It came with that 7 acres that we bought last year.
Okay.
People were living in it right up till the time we bought it, basically. It's a century-old home. I mean, it's gotta be right at a century old. It's got good foundation.
it's got good bones.
It's got good bones. I mean, it's a really chopped up house, but it's an old home. Hardwood floors through most of it. Yeah, but it'll need a total rehab. Now, we challenged the DDA with this last year to find the best use for it. And I really think a restaurant like Antebellum would be an ideal thing.
Prime time.
We've got enough room there for them to make parking, but if a restaurant came there, they're most definitely gonna have to add on to it, make like kitchen area.
Right.
Probably some handicap bathrooms, because the bathrooms inside, they're all little doors, you know, it would never work.
Well, have we had anybody approach us and ask about renting that space for a restaurant?
Yes.
Well, we have,
Yes.
I was gonna say, we got people
Yeah, but I
inquiring.
don't think anything came of it. They went and,
well, we're gonna follow up with them when they're here tomorrow.
yes, and they probably know this.
I still lean on bulldozer. That thing is garbage.
It's a nice house.
I've about got you outvoted on that
Needs a
now.
little bit, just needs a little TLC. It's a nice house.
Well, and I bring this up, it needs a roof. It needed a roof this time last year, it still needs a roof.
That tarp's doing
We
just fine.
put tarps on it,
One
you know,
thing
the
that
trees are so close to the house. You know, we took a bunch of the trees down when that Traco was there, getting rid of that old house. And, but
Well, general
tarps are blowing in the
Material
storm.
cost has gone up anywhere from 40 to 100% in the past 2 years. So it makes it even more appealing to save the house for that reason. And you can't rebuild that house
Right.
for anywhere close to what
That's
we
a good
paid.
point.
That house cost you $500,000 building. You started from scratch and built it up like that, I mean, it cost every bit of $500,000.
Or 10 grand to tear it down.
I guess I'm just not seeing what y'all are seeing.
The first house will
Huh?
We need,
Tore
you
down.
need to go to lunch one day, or dinner over there in Antebellum and Flower Branch.
Yeah. You can watch more HGTV.
I'm
Yes.
telling you,
for several reasons.
if it was turned into a restaurant with a high-end chef, that place would be packed.
Right.
Yeah, that's gonna cost them a lot of money to come in and redo the whole thing.
Oh, absolutely, I mean, there's all over,
But yeah,
you know, you'd spend $100,000 or better easy.
Yeah.
But if somebody did do that, like, yeah, they would have, where else is there to eat? And
But we would have a destination in
Right.
Hoschton,
Yeah.
you know.
'cause right now we don't.
Slice ain't good.
But
Slice.
we're gonna, we'll get bids, but I'm telling you, I bet a roof will cost $15,000.
got bids?
We got bids,
Mm-hmm.
but those were last summer.
Yeah,
About 6 months ago.
There's three
but I
different
bet they'll
bids.
honor 'em.
I don't know, boy, roofing's gonna look like crazy. But it's worth it, but I'm gonna bring
So
it.
do we wanna get, are y'all wanting to get, quotes on roof, or are y'all saying y'all don't wanna do this?
didn't we get the other three
Well,
from last year?
yeah, I mean, I
You
can
need to
reach out
update
to them again, but I don't wanna waste my time if y'all are thinking,
Let's see what DDA wants to do.
It's gotta have a roof.
oh, they want it.
DDA wants it, but it's gotta have a roof. And I'm
They're-
telling you,
They're in unity on that.
every day that goes by, I worry about, water intrusion, and we start getting leaks in there. Man, roof's old. And we're gonna.
What did 18,000 that
Well,
OC gave us?
I can pull them.
Most companies,
They're
if
under-
it's over 30 days, they're not gonna hold the price.
Yeah.
And roofing's going up.
They
Plus,
want
we're gonna have to
to-
reach out to them again, but I don't wanna waste my time reaching out to them if.
Yeah, if y'all are not in support of roofing it, we don't need to take the time to go get bids on it.
I mean, it's just wasting their time and ours.
We definitely wanna put a roof on it, right?
Yeah, we need to roof it.
Y'all need to
It's
decide if y'all
real.
want it.
Have I lost I lost my people? You guys do what you gotta do.
What do you think, James?
I always kind of felt like just tear it down with the other one and build something like the depot, a multi-purpose building that you can rent out, has bathrooms and kitchen area, and rent that out to groups.
But that's $1
city
million
groups.
bill.
Yeah.
But it's gonna last.
You're putting an investment in there, but it's all steel structure.
And if you can have a park there, people gonna need somewhere to go to. the
I think
bathroom.
right now we're looking at a money pit with Tom Hanks.
City
It was a
Hall.
good movie.
Look at City Hall,
What do you think?
pumping money into
Tracy?
everything.
From a
You just looked at
construction
it.
standpoint, I think it's a building we wanna save. From a use of space, I like the idea of having that central building where there's multifunction bathrooms. Can that fit beside it?
Yeah, I mean,
that's-
there's still space to put something like
There's
that out there, it
7
doesn't need
acres
to be
there, but we
anywhere
don't wanna
big.
get too deep in the space before you have something like that.
You know, kinda like how Brownston has just that unit, it's just nothing but bathrooms?
Yeah.
Have you seen theirs?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
What
if
you
we
talking
lease
about?
it to a restaurant
Yeah, we're
and
next to
they,
the sports.
need to build a kitchen on the back of it, some
Oh.
bathrooms, that's not saying on the opposite side of that, that we can't put in bathrooms, as that becomes a park. We could add whatever needs to be added to it.
And that's
For
nothing to
park
make that
use.
bathroom, like the one Brownston has.
Goodness knows, we don't need to build two or three separate things there to do.
I think that having like the older homes and rehab and stuff kinda like adds character to Hoschton.
I do too. I mean, James, you talking about something that's been there for a long time, this thing's been there for a century and it's still
He's a
there.
roof, he's a roof.
Plus, things
you
that
a
were
roof?
built back in the day,
We're built
they were
better.
built very good.
They're
Yeah.
built-
They were built good.
Well, you can
Better
go,
materials.
I took Lauren in there, you can go underneath it where it's got a stand-up crawl space in it, so to speak. And, there's it's got oak beams for the floor joists. And obviously it was sagging at some point because they've gone in there and put a small steel I-beam with jacks on it to support it. But I mean, it's structurally sound, but it needs a roof now. It needs a paint job, but I don't think that's killing us right now. The roof's killing us. It's costing us more money for not roofing it.
So it looks like these two say,
I mean, I would say at this point, go ahead and at least get quotes, see if they'll honor them for the roof.
So we're getting a roof.
you two guys, right here, what do y'all think?
I mean, I'm in favor of keeping it up, but I would say if we find a potential leaser, would they put money into it?
I think for sure. And that would
Instead
be
of us
my,
having to afford the whole.
this
bill?
would be my goal, and I think the DDA's goal, is that you find somebody that wants to lease it,
Uh-huh.
and, you let them do all the work to it, and you comp them, work out that in the lease. Cause if they go spend, let's just say $250,000 on it, new kitchen stuff, all that, they're gonna want a long-term lease to be putting that kind of money into something.
Get their money back.
And to get their money back. And I think if they're outlaying the money for it, and we're not, I don't mind comping them for that to some extent. It keeps
They're
us from
doing us a
having to do it.
favor.
And also, if it's their money in it, they're gonna wanna make sure sure it works.
Right.
And, I know a few people that, that do that kind of stuff. Look at local station up there in Brazelton, and the DDA owns it. I mean, I used to buy gas there when I was a kid. I mean, and look at the business that place has. I mean, it is fantastic. I know that's right there on the highway, but still, Annie Bellum that we're talking about over there in Flowery Branch, it's in our neighborhood right there off of Main Street. I mean, it is not visible by no means, and it is a busy restaurant. And it's a high-end place. I mean, you go in there and have a meal and a glass of wine, it's all over $50
I think
per
I'll
person.
have it there if it's a good chef.
Yeah.
Okay.
We lose.
Yeah, Annabelle's delicious, love that place.
Get your roof.
Yes. Yeah, Jack.
All right, James, I got everybody, on board now. I need you to say, yeah, I like that idea too.
What kind of shingles, does that house need? Are we just gonna use regular,
Well,
That's another-
I would put back rubber, it's got these unique, almost like teardrop or diamond shape type shingles. We won't spend that kind of money.
Yeah.
I would put regular
architectural?
architectural
That's what
shingles,
I was thinking.
3 times.
$100 square shingles.
I'll reach out to them today.
The
if that's
porch
really
part
okay.
has metal on it. And it may still be okay, it might be to where you can pressure wash it off and just go back and paint it. Cause it is definitely at a different time period than the shingles on the roof.
But that one tree, do we need to remove it before we do the rest?
Yeah, there's one tree, there's a magnolia tree right there, and the limbs of it are actually brushing the house.
And then we gotta make parking.
Oh, yeah, but all that's
Plenty of
down the road.
parking.
I just wanna protect the
Oh,
home
I'm
from
with
that. And as the DDA works this out, and let's get on it tomorrow. Listen, we wanna do some of this.
And they want the house.
Yeah, they do.
They're in.
And if they decide tomorrow, says, listen, okay, we don't think it is, then we look at maybe tearing it down. They're not gonna say that though, they're gonna get possibilities. They're gonna get possibilities.
Isn't that maybe something that you might want to put on your agenda so that your citizens can have input at a
We
meeting?
taking public comment?
No.
I don't think
I'm
we're
not
taking-
sure that Ms.
Is that-
Ledbetter is a member of the council and she's commenting quite a bit.
Yeah, we're not taking public comment. Yeah.
So just for me, to be clear.
We're not taking public comment. Where were we?
Interesting.
The roof or?
Doing the roof or turn it over to DDA.
So, when,
So y'all wanna wait till the DDA
That would be a good
Yeah.
idea.
and
Well,
try to
This is,
see,
they want it, but, what are their thoughts? What do they wanna do with it?
yeah, we'll ask them tomorrow, but we're gonna go ahead and get 3 new
I'm gonna go ahead and
update
email
bids.
them and ask them where we
It
stand
doesn't
with
hurt,
the
it
roof.
doesn't hurt.
Just to see what they say. I'm
They're
just
either gonna go
curious
back
what
with,
they're-
they're gonna add to their same quote.
And I tell y'all this too, let's just say the DDA didn't want it. If we put a roof on it and just went back up there and put a stove, microwave, refrigerator, and plugged it all back in, you could probably rent the house today for a family.
Doesn't it have
Remember,
mold?
a year ago, people lived here.
Doesn't it have mold inside,
Nah,
Shannon?
there's no mold in it. I'd spend the night in there in the hot
Did
tub.
you see any more? Tracy?
I wouldn't.
I didn't see
There's
any
a
mold.
Okay, I was-
there's a bunch of cats that live around there, because they tell me the owner comes by and feeds the cats every day.
Yeah, there's no mice then, there's all those cats there.
I'm gonna take you up on that offer. We'll see you spend the night there.
I may have spent the night there in my lifetime, you just never know. But you could rent it, how many bedrooms are in it? There's like one big one and a small one upstairs. 1, 2, 3.
Yes, 4
I
bedroom.
think there's 4
I think it's
downstairs.
4 bedroom.
You could turn it into bed and breakfast.
I think it could be a great bed and breakfast too, it could be, yeah. I think it's just too valuable to let it go to waste. And even if we didn't wanna do much to it, we'd push it down the road. Again, I think we roof it, maybe slap a coat of paint on it, rent it out to a tenant that wanted to live there for a few years, you could do that without tearing it down, buy you some time. And that wouldn't cost much. And people are dying for a place to live around. I get calls daily, people want to rent property, you just can't find a place to rent. And rent's expensive. Golly, if that house was fixed up right, it'd be a $3,000 a month
So it's got carpet and all in it now, I think, right?
Well, when we got it, we ripped up all that carpet that was in it, you know, cause it was in shambles. And the wood floors are all in there. Now, they've got staples in them where the carpet, they had stapled the carpet to it, but you could clean it up and.
Wood floors, good.
Okay. Let's talk briefly about the new water tower. So they're painting it, and they, I don't know if we were all together, if y'all have seen the logo.
I have not seen it.
It's crooked.
It's crooked.
Yeah,
No, I'm serious.
I'm not happy with it at all.
With what?
I don't
The
know.
writing?
Well,
Oh.
our logo's on one side, and it's got Hoschton underneath it. It's in a light blue color.
And it's really
It's lighter
small.
than Lauren's shirt, about that tone, but lighter.
Yeah, we had the it's darker blue,
It's like
right?
baby blue.
Yeah.
But it should be
does-
darker blue.
It doesn't
That's
stand
a
out.
primer, you think that's a primer? They're gonna go back with the
It's
white?
very small too. I feel like they could have made it way bigger.
The Panther logo that's on the backside, it doesn't even face the school. It like points towards Brighton Park.
Yeah. You can
And it's a
barely see
little
it.
bitty logo compared to the size of that tank.
Yeah.
Jerry will be here today, and we're gonna quiz him. I'd already started communication, and I don't think he thought it was gonna go this fast. And, they painted the legs and put the coat of paint on the top of it. I thought that was probably just a primer coat.
I thought we was gonna get more public input about what maybe to go on there.
Well, I don't know when that was decided. That was after me and before me. Did y'all not see any of that in the last 3
No,
months?
no, sir.
Really?
I think that was a Joe decision.
It had to have been, I mean, I didn't see anything on it.
I don't remember us deciding on that last year, did we? I
You talking about
remember
doing the
it
H?
was on the Panther logo.
Doing the H with the leaf?
Yeah? Okay.
Oh, Gary?
All right, well, let's talk about this now, while we got a few minutes in, because if we're gonna repaint it, now's the time to do it. Make it look right.
We need to get it right now.
Let's get it right now. Yeah.
But you don't think the baby blue's a primer and they're gonna come back with the white?
Well,
Even if that's the case, it needs to be bigger, doesn't it?
it's not, it's supposed to be white and gray. It's supposed to be a two-tone color.
The tower is?
I need to get really close to it, cause I can't tell.
I think the bottom of the tank is a shade different in color
In gray.
than the top. But now the legs and the top, I think, are the same color. But I think the bottom of the bowl is a real light gray. I think it is. But that doesn't get me as much as the logos. If
So
we
it's-
redo it, what do we wanna put on there? Let's come to agreement, because Jerry's gonna be here this afternoon, and let's tell him, hey, this is what we want. Find out how much it costs, and this is what we want.
Like, y'all want some kind of welcoming, slogan on there,
Are you gonna do the H like on Shannon's shirt with the leaf, or no?
or, I don't, that's up to y'all. Like,
I think, when you're at 211 and 85 coming north,
That's right.
you can see that tank towering above Brazelton and Hoschton. I know when, other night I was coming home at We Hunt Road and Highway 332. That's coming from looking south. It stands up there on the hill. I mean, it's just, I think the one, as you look north, look south towards 85, I think it needs to be in big, black, bold letters, Hoschton. So you can see Hoschton from 85. That logo is too complicated. You can't make that logo out till you're close to it. Adam liked the idea of putting 30548. I like the 30548, but most people wouldn't recognize the zip code as well as they will the name Hoschton.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
They want to put an American flag on it. I thought that was a really good idea to have a flag on it.
That's what Winder has on their.
I think a flag looks fantastic. And if you look at it now, heck, with logos on the front and the back, we're not covering 15% of the surface area of the tank.
There's lots of room to put stuff on there.
Yeah, I was overwhelmed when I saw it. I thought it was gonna be some big, you know, a little underwhelming.
I mean, this is cool that we've got this to work with. I mean, I don't know. It looks, I think it looks terrible. What do y'all want? Black on white stands out on that
But
tank.
are we gonna have to pay for them to come back and?
That was my question, it's
Repaint.
gonna be interesting to see what
I mean,
EMI is
they're
gonna
still-
say for charge.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay the
That's
change
important.
order.
Well, so
That'll
Brazos,
be a cost.
Is that what we approved for them to
Instead
do,
of
or did they
circle
do it
logo,
wrong?
you know, the oval,
I'm betting that's what was approved.
Right.
the one right there on 124.
yeah.
But that was not brought to our attention by Joe as it was being handled this year. That, hey,
Well, but if
this
you
is
look at
coming
the,
up.
if you look at the documents, it looks really good on paper,
Yeah, I got you.
but it does not look good on the tower.
Well, if I was at school, I'd be fussing too, because, you know, you want your kids that are out there playing in the playground, look up and see our logo.
Yeah.
Now you kinda gotta walk way out there around the road and look back up at it.
And the logo stretches on the paper, I mean, it's big, but when you're on the tower, it's,
I bet that logo's painted up there, I bet it's not 10 foot tall.
yeah, but you saw the document, it looks
Yeah.
better on paper.
I mean, that tank from the railing at the walkway, you know, the vertical side of that thing, golly, must be at least 30
Well, I
feet.
think we hold them somewhat responsible. I mean, typically, they need to come back to us and say, hey,
And we're not the pros at measurements.
here's what we're looking at, here's a mock-up of it, it's computer generated. If we could at least seen how tiny it was.
Yeah, that's what I really would've thought y'all would've had
Right.
here in the list.
Yeah, we never did see a proof or nothing.
Well, that
Yeah.
proof's been with us since Gary's been with us,
Oh.
so I'm not sure how it got.
Well, again, let's go back, what do we want on it? Because we will get with Jerry this afternoon, cause he's gonna want clear direction to go back to him and tell him, hey, this is what they want. You know, you didn't do it per these guys.
I'm down, I like the American flag idea and the word Hoschton.
What, welcome to Houston or something?
Well,
Just
I'm not
Hoschton.
against welcome to Houston, but let's write welcome to,
Is it on the bottom of Houston?
I'm thinking welcome to is smaller print at the top, and again, Houston, big bold letters.
Like
Covering
welcome
the
to
tank.
the logo.
Where you gonna put the
and
flag?
then-
Do we want the logo?
That's what I said, the logo's the questionable thing.
I don't.
I think, I like the Hoschton.
Just put
Well,
welcome to
word.
Houston. or
On
Houston.
the other side, for the paw, are we gonna leave that side alone? Because I think that was
We need
important
on
to the
both
community.
sides.
Yeah, but it needs bigger. They
Well,
want the
yeah, I'm not
paw.
opposed to that, but
They want the
I
paw,
think
that's what
we
they
should,
chose.
yeah, I think we should leave
I
it
think
with
it
the
needs
paw.
to be pointing towards the school, and it needs to
Well,
be
no,
about
I
3
agree
times
with
the
that.
Yeah,
size.
just move the location of the paw, just
But
move
leave
it
the
over,
paw.
so the school
But-
can see it better from the actual school.
And is there something else additional that maybe we wanna put there beside the school logo, even for the school? Cause there's all kind of room over there on that side that
Don't make
faces
it
the
a
school.
Jack now,
Jack,
Jack's
put Jacksco, yeah.
or do, yeah, put that under it,
JAXCO.
or over to whatever.
Put it beside
Put
it,
it beside
cause that way
it.
the logo will be big and you
Yeah.
put something else beside
I
it.
could see that they would like that, I was asking.
You know, try to work in relationships with that school. I mean, we got a chance here to build them.
Where do we stand on the lights? I know that did.
We just did a change order on the last agenda, and we've already, submitted it.
So that should be good.
Jerry's getting us pricing for lights,
And we can ask him today
Yeah.
where he is on that.
but we just turned that loose. so we
Just
can-
last week.
Yeah, I saw the email.
I don't know, I'd be curious to see what Jerry says as far as, are the measurements even done right? Like, is that where we
He
told
won't,
them?
he won't know. I bet he hadn't even seen it yet.
Oh, that's
If,
great.
if he did, he just drove by. I mean, but they
They
just
did.
finished that Monday, wasn't it?
Monday.
Yes.
Yes. Cause my emails to him, I don't think he thought they were gonna be even painted, cause he said, yeah, let me check into it, and what do we need? Cause he's like, we'll all talk about it this week. I think the local painting happened before he thought was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Are you about done?
I am,
Okay, we need to adjourn, take a break.
yeah,
And then we're gonna do a lunch break and come back here at 1 o'clock.
we're gonna eat at 11,
Yes.
Eat at 11.
No, 12 to 1.
we're gonna eat at 12 to 1.
Yes,
So we'll be back in here at 1.
yes. We're gonna.
Shannon, real
Oh,
quick,
No,
something,
we gotta
We're
have,
back here at 12 to
something to
invite.
think about on
Oh,
the water
we won't-
tower.
We won't go back into our meeting, I don't want.
Is let the, while they're there, this is what City of Winder did. They put a ring around the top of it so they could rent out space for telecommunications. It's a big revenue for them.
We discussed this pre-construction and this design. Jerry said that there is less and less antennas going on tanks these days.
Because of wireless.
Everything's wireless, everything's getting to be satellite based. And he didn't feel like it was worth the money to put that on.
Put that on there.
You know, and if that changes, you know, the next one, we'll start construction on the next one within probably a year. If we think we want it there, we'll put it on
We
it.
hope to see the antennas on theirs down there.
There's a lot of them, yeah, you see a lot, but there's a lot of them, if you start paying attention to them, a lot of them won't have anything.
Yeah.
Maybe it just depends on where the tanks are actually located, how geographically that aligns with where signals need to go.
We're on a good hill right there.
Uh,
All right, 1 o'clock.
all right, so we're gonna tell Jerry today, Hoschton, American flag, try to move the logo.
See what the cost would be.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna say, tell them to do it for free. Jerry will, he'll say, listen,
That's what
y'all
I'm
do this
saying, I
right,
mean-
that's not what they want. Let's make them happy.
That's right.
It's a $1.7 million deal, I mean.
We never did see nothing. I never did see nothing. Did you, Tracy?
I'm betting
What,
so,
up there?
Yeah.
there's a signature on
Adam, did you see
CD's
anything?
document that approved it.
I
Even
remember
if it's
Joe
geared.
mentioned it to me, he said, if y'all are cool with this.
No, did you see a sketch what was
Oh,
gonna be
no,
on
no,
there?
no, no, no. Joe, I remember Joe talking about it, but.
That's all I did.
All right, so
I will make a motion to adjourn at
Second.
10:47. Did I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? All opposed?
What time is it?
It's 10:47.
Mhm. Hey, can I speak now? I'm not sure. What's that?
I'll sit here.
I couldn't hear you. Something like that.
That's a brand new.
Just get with Jennifer on the
Just get with-
schedule.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna walk up this room.
Can we leave our stuff in there?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I need to get with you.
Yes.
As well.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my goodness. Mr. Sell, you may want to contact your attorney about allowing one person to speak and disallowing another. Something you should probably investigate.
Should I get one? No, I just came straight.